Okay, so we're here today to discuss microdosing with edibles, and I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the course. The purpose of this course is, let's say you're uncomfortable, you're in pain, and you're wanting to use dispensary edibles to get out of that pain. Well, this may be the course for you. So it's going to go over how much to use during daytime hours and how much to use during nighttime hours. Excuse me. And also, like, why not to overdose. I'm going to show you a bell curve so you can get a visual on why when you start low. So imagine a bell curve. We'll imagine it in our heads, and you can take the course and see it later. But you'll want to imagine a bell curve, and you start off on the lower side. So we'll start off here. Um, and you're taking nothing, and your symptoms are as they are. And then as you start to take cannabis, your symptoms start to improve. And it's really hard to go the opposite. So your symptoms start to improve. And then when you find your ideal dose, you want to stop, because if you continue taking too much, you can make your symptoms worse. And so if you experience things like headaches and hypotension, dehydration, fatigue the next day, you may just be taking too much THC. And so you want to stop before, and we'll talk about how to stop before reaching that point. And if you are already taking too much, we'll talk about dialing it back so that you can find your ideal dose with your dispensary edibles. And feel free to divide them. I mean, taking less, you'll also save yourself money. So consider that. And I'm going to let a couple, because I speak obviously really fast and cover material quickly, as I also do in the course, but I'm going to let a couple minutes go by in case anyone wants to jump on and ask questions, but this video will be here always to review it. But again, just go over quickly through the whole dispensary course now that we're a couple minutes into it. All right, so what microdosing with dispensary edibles is, the purpose of that course is to allow you to use dispensary edibles and use them at a lower dose. You're going to want to microdose with them. And so that you don't experience the bad side effects such as headaches and dehydration and fatigue and hypotension. And so if you do experience any negative side effects, especially the next day after taking your edibles, you might want to consider microdosing. And if you've never tried edibles before, you might want to consider beginning, trying with starting with microdosing in the beginning, because you can end up saving yourself a lot of guesswork later on down the line, or work trying to dial that dose back when you have overdosed. And that way you can use these products responsibly. During the day, you can go to work and you cannot be high. Use them in really, really low increments, and that way you're not going to be affecting yourself. You obviously want to test your dosage on a day that you're not doing anything, so that if you do take too much, you're not going to be driving or be irresponsible. The goal with medicating with cannabis is to really do it responsibly, and then you'll get the most benefits and you'll get the most bang for your buck, because why do you want to waste money? I mean, at this point, the cost of living is shooting up, so it's probably best to keep what you can in your bank if you want to spend on, say, Christmas presents and such that are coming up. So really, I emphasize so much this low dose because it's argued with, we're coming off the back of recreational, and we're so used to high dose things and people thinking that they need to take more. And especially if you've taken pharmaceuticals, you're used to, maybe if you've taken, like morphine patches, things like that. I was on extra strength Norco and Vicodin and gabapentin and a few other lovely things. But anyway, and you think that maybe I need more cannabis because I take a lot of pharmaceuticals. That's not really the case, because cannabis and pharmaceuticals work differently in our system. And we'll go touch on that a little bit in this course. But the point is, it really is more effective if you start low. So I want to really strongly emphasize that. And then throughout the course, so we'll talk about the starting low and we'll go over that bell curve that I talked about, where you can visualize why you want to start low. And then we'll talk about how much, typical edibles that are available in dispensary. So when you go down to the dispensary, what are you going to find? And we'll talk about what's standardly available. And you do want to check your menu, the menu from the dispensary you're going to visit. And so during the course, when we're talking about that in that section, underneath the video will be links to all of the dispensaries. So you can click on their menu, see what they have. And some of the dispensaries have online ordering or delivery or delivery. So take a look and see what options they have for you, because that makes it really handy when you can't leave your house. And as you can see, we have Sierra Wellness bag over there in the corner. I have dispensary things from everything, so I'm not trying to particularly do an ad for anybody. But all of our dispensaries, I really like them. I've been to them all. I really suggest you visit them and take advantage of them. Take advantage of what's in there, because if you learn how to use it responsibly, you can really start treating your symptoms. And if you don't, and we discuss this in the course too, but if you find that dispensary edibles aren't something that works for you, then we're going to have courses later on discussing how to make coconut oil and how to make your own medicaments. The coconut oil course is coming up first, and we're going to be going over making capsules and making salve, so you'll have an idea of what to do with these things. But anyway, so that is basically the overview for this first course, and we've already had a few attendants. I'm really excited, and some really good feedback, and I'll be posting the reviews online so that when you go to take the course, you can see what people have had to say. And please let me know your feedback, because I'd love to hear what you have to say and any improvements that you want, any tweaks, or what you'd like to see in the future. So anyway, we'll catch up later, and probably next month, next Sunday, or not next Sunday, next month on a Sunday, and we'll talk again, and then we'll see what comes out before then. If we do get anything that comes out sooner, I'll see you sooner. So until then, have good holidays and take advantage, especially if you are in pain. Try to make it through this season as comfortably as possible. And you don't need to be high doing it. We certainly don't need a bunch of crazy people out on the road. So do it responsibly, because it is illegal to drive and use cannabis. I mean, you don't drink and drive, so don't use cannabis irresponsibly and drive. Okay, we're trying to use this medically, so use it low dose, and then you won't have to affect your mind. And if you use it consistently throughout the day in a lower dose, and so you're not hitting your system, I'm going off on random tangents, and if you know me, you know I do this often, like all the time. So bear with me. At least you can just get off this video if you don't want to, or stick with me. But if you use it consistently throughout the day, you'll find better effects as well, because then you'll have a constant stream of cannabinoids flowing throughout your system, instead of just hitting yourself, starving your system of cannabinoids for the whole day, and then going home at night after work, and you're in pain because your system needs those cannabinoids to help balance itself and those anti-inflammatory properties and all that good stuff. And then you smoke a bowl or you eat a whole brownie or however you medicate, and then it slams your system. You're making your system go on a bit of a roller coaster ride, and that's entirely unnecessary to do. If you were to have just taken that brownie and cut it up a little bit throughout the day, cut up in small portions, and used it, say 3 or 4 times throughout the day and had a constant stream going, you would have been more comfortable throughout the day. You wouldn't have had to struggle to get home and chow down on that brownie and wait for the effects to step in, or smoke a bowl and get those, to get the cannabinoids, because those effects will take in a couple minutes, 2 3 minutes, which why it's nice to have vaping on the side, have a little couple cartridges in case you're in a really bad situation, you want to get out of pain. But anyway, so try to keep those cannabinoids flowing throughout your system throughout the day, and that will be gentler on your system. And then when it comes to night, you want to pretty essentially double your dose from what you've used in the day to take at night to help you sleep. And that will give you a more relaxed sleep too, so that it'll be more balanced. You won't be hitting your system with so much THC that when you wake up in the morning, you have a THC hangover and you're groggy and dehydrated. And that can actually worsen anxiety and things later on down the road if you continue doing this. So try not to overdose your system. But I'll look out for a couple questions if anybody has anything. And if not, we'll let this go. And I look forward to talking to you in the future. And please check out the course, Microdosing with Edibles, Dispensary Edibles. I think it'll really help you get better results. And again, if you don't get the results you're looking for, we'll have a course on how to make your own coconut oil so you can really personalize it, make it your own. And we'll talk about why we'll make it the best way possible. So you guys have a great day. Be safe out there if you're driving around. And I'll talk at you later. Bye.